win, go win, go win, go win, go win, man, go win.
Let's go out to a matchup in the AFC wild card round. It's the L.A Chargers and Justin Herbert traveling to Foxborough to take on Maye and the New England Patriots. Chargers are 11-6 coming into this matchup. Patriots are 14-3. Patriots are favored by 3.5 points. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff on NBC/Peacock. The over-under for this matchup is 46.5 points. So let's start off with the L.A Chargers, and let's talk about Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert this year, you look at his numbers this season. Herbert, 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 3,727 passing yards, completing 66% of his passes. And Herbert has led the Chargers to an 11-6 record, and they were not able to win the AFC West, but they were able to make the playoffs. My issue with Justin Herbert has absolutely nothing to do with his regular season performances. I think Justin Herbert has proven himself enough to where we can all agree that he's a franchise quarterback that you can build your team around. Like, I think Herbert is a quarterback that you can win games with in the regular season, and he's a franchise quarterback that you can build around in the regular season. But the problem for Justin Herbert has been his playoff performances. I'm looking at Justin Herbert in his playoff career. He's 0-2. His first loss came in 2022. This game came against Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars beat the Chargers 31-30. And in that game, Trevor Lawrence outlasted Justin Herbert. And here are Herbert's stats in that game. Herbert had 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 273 passing yards. His completion percentage was 58.1. His passer rating was 84.7 in that matchup against Lawrence. His numbers don't sound too bad, right? The problem was the Chargers had a 30-0 lead on the Jaguars. So Justin Herbert had a significant lead over Trevor Lawrence in that playoff game and could not finish the deal in that game. And I'm looking at that particular matchup because we compare quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence threw multiple interceptions in that game. So Trevor Lawrence, he was the reason why the Jaguars were in the position that they were in when they were trailing by double digits in that playoff game. But Trevor Lawrence also was the reason why the Jacksonville Jaguars came from behind and beat Justin Herbert and the L.A Chargers in that particular playoff game. And I said at the time, I said, if you're Justin Herbert, there is no way in hell you can allow this to happen on your watch. If you are an elite quarterback, there's no way you can have a double-digit lead where the opposing quarterback is playing awful. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was throwing interceptions left and right in that game in the first half, and Justin Herbert did absolutely nothing to create more separation in that game from Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars, because the defense was a reason why the Chargers had the double-digit lead over the Jaguars to begin with. And so to me, that was an indictment on Justin Herbert not beating Trevor Lawrence in that particular playoff game after the Chargers had a double-digit lead. And at the time, Brandon Staley was the Chargers head coach, and I said Brandon Staley was one of the worst head coaches in pro football. He deserved to be fired, but it is inexcusable for Justin Herbert to lose a double-digit lead in a playoff game that he desperately needed to add to his resume as a quarterback. And then in 2024, last year, the Texans beat the Chargers 32-12, and Herbert was awful in that playoff game. He completed 44% of his passes. He had 242 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. His passer rating was 40.9. So that Texans defense got after Justin Herbert, and he had one of his worst games of his career in that playoff loss against the Texans last year. And so he's 0-2 in the playoffs as a quarterback. So to me, he's proven himself enough to be considered a franchise quarterback. But in order for Justin Herbert to be an elite quarterback for me, he has to perform in the playoffs and actually win a playoff game. He got to win a playoff game for the L.A Chargers. And I'm looking at the Chargers as a team. They have been dealing with injuries this year. They lost both of their tackles in Rashawn Slater at the beginning of the season, and they also lost Joe Alt as well. So that has hurt the Chargers, and Justin Herbert has suffered because of it. I believe he has the second most quarterback hits in the last 20 seasons, and somehow he is still standing upright. And I think he deserves to be commended for that and deserves credit for that, because this Chargers offensive line, they have struggled this season. And I love their head coach, Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best head coaches in pro football. And obviously, Jim Harbaugh was an upgrade at the head coaching position over Brandon Staley. And I think that Harbaugh has really helped the development of a Justin Herbert. And I thought when you look at the Chargers overall as an offense, you got Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen at receiver. They don't really have elite skill position players, but they got Justin Herbert and you got Jim Harbaugh. And I think that head coach quarterback combo can help the Chargers in key pivotal moments. But for me, it comes down to how Herbert performs in these playoff games. That's the biggest question for Justin Herbert. That's the biggest question for Herbert. And that's going to determine how the Chargers perform in the playoffs. How does Herbert perform as their quarterback? Now, defensively, I love the Chargers defense. I mean, they only give up 300 total yards per game. That's ranked second in the NFL. They give up 180 passing yards per game. That's ranked fifth in the NFL. And they give up 20 points per game, which is ranked ninth in the NFL. So Jim Harbaugh is a defensive mind, and he has his defense flying around making plays. Now, on the flip side, the New England Patriots are 14-3 coming into this matchup. They won the AFC East, and they outlasted the Buffalo Bills, and they have MVP candidate Drake Maye as their quarterback. Drake Maye this year, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 4,394 passing yards, completing 72% of his passes. I believe Drake Maye has had a great sophomore season. And typically, a lot of these quarterbacks, when they get into their sophomore seasons, they struggle. We saw it with Jaden Daniels this past year, although I believe Daniels was dealing with injuries. We saw it with C.J. Stroud. Stroud had a great rookie season, and then in his sophomore season, he struggled. It was the opposite for Drake Maye. Drake Maye had a great sophomore season compared to his rookie season, and Mike Vrabel has done a tremendous job as the Patriots head coach. I think Mike Vrabel is one of the best head coaches in pro football. I think Stephon Diggs has done great in that receiver room as a veteran presence. Obviously, they got Kyle Williams and Keyshawn Boutte at receiver, and at running back, you got Trevion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson at running back. And this Patriots offense, they are ranked fourth in passing yards per game. They average 251 passing yards per game, and they average 29 points per game, which is ranked second in the NFL. So they have a very, very elite offense. But I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. The Patriots have not impressed me like they've impressed other people who watch the NFL. Because the Patriots have the easiest schedule in pro football in 2025. The only playoff teams that the Patriots went up against during the season were the Steelers and the Bills. The Patriots, to me, they didn't really have a signature win. Their only signature win came in like week 4 against the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Bills. Oh, it was week 5. Okay. Week 5, the Patriots beat the Bills, but that was their only signature win. I'm looking at the Patriots this year. They beat the Dolphins. The Panthers were 8-9, so that doesn't count as a signature win. They beat the Saints in week 6, the Titans in week 7, the Browns in week 8, the Falcons in week 9, the Jets in week 11, the Bengals in week 12. Where's the signature win for the Patriots? Everybody is ready to crown the Patriots like the Patriots should be the favorites in the AFC, and I'm not seeing it. I love Mike Vrabel, their head coach. I like the season that Drake Maye has had as their quarterback, but I don't see any signature wins for the Patriots besides their week 5 win over a division opponent in the Buffalo Bills. They went up against the Steelers this year, earlier this season, and they lost that game. Week 3. So I think the Patriots are a young football team, but I think that the Patriots are a year early to the party. And because of that, and because of Justin Herbert's desperation, because I believe that Justin Herbert needs this playoff win more than Drake Maye. Because if Drake Maye loses, it's his sophomore season. We're not going to look at Drake Maye in any kind of negative light because Drake Maye had a great season this past year, and he was a legitimate NFL MVP candidate. Justin Herbert, on the other hand, desperately needs a playoff win on his resume. This is a great coaching matchup between Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel. I believe the head coaches in this particular matchup, they cancel each other out. Oh, one more thing about the Patriots. The Patriots this season, by opponent starting quarterbacks versus Pro Bowl quarterbacks, the Patriots were 4-3 this year. Versus all other quarterbacks who were not Pro Bowl quarterbacks, they were 10-0. So the Patriots feasted on quarterbacks that were inferior quarterbacks at that position. Against Pro Bowl quarterbacks, they were only 4-3. So that's another reason why I really don't believe in the Patriots as a team. And I don't believe the Patriots are a team that can go on this deep playoff run and that should be considered the favorites in the AFC. So because of that, and because of Justin Herbert's desperation to win a playoff game, I'm rolling with Justin Herbert and the L.A Chargers to beat Drake Maye and the New England Patriots in an upset. Chargers 24, Patriots 21.